All right, hello folks. Welcome to my how to draft for 2K23 Universe mode. So there, I was a little disappointed. They didn't really put in a good drafting system in 2K23 like they did in like my GM mode. I would assume that they could move something like that over to Universe mode, and I was kind of disappointed at the fact that they couldn't and or didn't do it. So I want to give people an idea of like, hey, if you want to build your universe mode and you want to expand more past the my GM mode, then this is something that you can kind of do with the game. And it's thanks to our good friends over at lolwrestling.com who put up this nifty little drafter. And this has all the current superstars, and you can kind of figure out how you want to draft people. And you'll have to manually input them into each of the shows, but this is just something you can kind of do in order to kind of, hey, this is how I would want to draft my shows, and it's just nice to have everybody all in one spot. So, lowwrestling.com, great site, not sponsored, but this is how I did it. Now, the first thing is you're going to want to build up your shows. So we want Raw, we'll add show, we want SmackDown, and you know what I like to do? I like NXT. I was not a big fan of NXT until last year, and then I started playing the game, and I want to know who all these superstars are. And I'm pretty impressed with a lot of them, and I've fallen in love with a lot of the superstars. If you have not watched NXT and you're like a big wrestling fan, just it's an hour long on Hulu. Just jump on it, man. It is great, and those talents are really underrated right now. I can't wait to see them on the main roster, and hopefully they build up. But anyway, that's not what this is about. So we're going to be drafting off and trying figuring out what kind of credentials we'd really want for our matches. The way I personally like to try and do universe mode is I like to build factions as well into the system and then figure out how I'm going to build my brand around these people. So let's start, for example, Raw and SmackDown. I mean, Roman Reigns has to go someplace. I'm going to put him on SmackDown just because I feel like he belongs there. And so if we're doing Roman Reigns here, now we kind of have to put the bloodline here. So let's do now, before we really start to draft up these people, I think it's a good idea to filter them. So I'm going to put only males. I'm going to turn off females by clicking this twice, and there's a little X icon, which you guys cannot see on screen. Oops. There we go. This is looking horrible. Okay, there we go. This should fill it, I think. All right, yeah. So this is good, right, guys? I don't know. That's not that big a deal. But anyway, we are going to draft up Roman Reigns. And we're going to turn off the legends as well, I think, because I want to see like the current superstars. We can always splash in legends when they need to, when I feel like, hey, our story is kind of developing, or if I really want to implement a legend. So we're going to turn off females, and we're going to turn off legends, and we're going to draft our men roster first and kind of go from there. Roman Reigns, where the heck are you? Ridge, Roman. Okay. So we got Roman Reigns, which means, I mean, we got to get the bloodline then. Let's get Solo. Let's get the Usos. Where are you at? Jimmy and Jay. They are hidden alphabetically, so you kind of have to know who you're drafting and who everybody is. Happy, Jay, Jimmy. Okay, cool. So I got the Bloodline faction here. They're kind of going to be leading our brand. So let's jump back to Raw. So who would I want on Raw to like mainline these? I mean, I personally, Cody Rhodes is definitely like one of them that I want. Like I want Cody as my main title. So I think my two belt holders, like for the main title, would be Cody and Roman. I think in a perfect world, that's who should be on each of the shows. And that's just me personally, but you can kind of pick whoever you want. But I'm gonna pick Cody, and then who is probably gonna be the best to really feud with early on. We did get to see Seth Rollins, but honestly, I wouldn't mind watching that run back. I think Cody and Seth on the same show are perfect to go against each other. And so we need to. Who else would be good? We got a three-star tag team, three tag team people over here. Let's get a tag team as well. Let's go. Let's get the Judgment Day actually on here. I think like Judgment Day and New Day. I think sounds like a really cool feud. One team who takes themselves too seriously, one who doesn't. So let's get New Day, and Big E is somebody I feel like could go into the main event scene as well, to kind of feud with Cody and Seth if we needed to. So we're gonna get the Judgment Day and the New Day. Kofi, there you are. And I need Finn. Where is he at? Finn Balor. So here already, I kind of establishing this Raw feud. So I got my very first big feud. I want Rollins versus Cody for the main belts. I have the New Day going to be able to feud with Judgment Day, which sounds really cool to me. And let's jump back to SmackDown now. So we have Roman. We don't have anybody who can stand up against Roman. To me, I like SmackDown and Roman. I want to put the stars that I feel like are in that same kind of category. And so for Roman Reigns, I think like Drew McIntyre fits his build, and they have just a good clash. People like Bobby Lashley could possibly go in there. Obviously, we were going to put Kevin and Sammy, I think, in there as well. But let's say I want the Muscle Men, I think, on SmackDown. People who are like who WWE would kind of traditionally push as the main eventers, I think should go here with Roman Reigns as well. And you could flip this. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Brock Lesnar would be great to kind of feud, of course, with Roman again. I mean, we've seen that feud so many times that maybe not, but let's throw it in game. It's on the same level. So we have a tag team rivalry with the Usos, but that doesn't fit too well. I would say we have our four kind of main eventers with Roman, Bobby, or Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, and I think we need one more main eventer. I like Sammy and Kevin, but they're probably going to be in a tag team, or if however you want to build them. Let's see, who would be a good big muscle? Oh, we said Drew. Okay, there we go. So Drew. So now let's look at some of the tag team feuds we bought. So I mean, of this rivalry, we can get a 4-on-4 with Roman, Solo, and the Usos if we got the Brawling Brutes involved. So let's get Sheamus and Ridge and the new Pete Dunne, or Butch, however you want to call him. There's rumors that at the moment he is getting his name changed back, so that would be great. Pete, where are you at? Well, you're Butch right now, so you are B and Ridge. So, MVP MNOR Ray Ridge. Okay, cool. So in our tag team feud, I mean, if we wanted to build up our very first feud, we'd have Roman, Solo, Jimmy, Jay versus the Brawling Brute Squad. That's solid. I mean, that's kind of what we did for the Elimination Chamber anyway. So, and then we have Kevin and Sammy who could be feuding in our rivalry, or they can. Bobby and Brock are still in like that high title contendership. So we got four. We got four for tag teams. We have four that can be kind of fighting to go see who's going to see face Roman Reigns for the title afterwards. So that's good. Let's jump back over to Raw. And so we have our big our 3-on-3 Judgment Day versus New Day, while Seth and Cody are facing off. So let's look at some other tag teams. So we have New Day, we have Judgment Day. Let's go Imperium. I think Walter could definitely go into the main title scene as well while we get Imperium going with the other ones. That and Marcel Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser. Where's Giovanni? Giovanni. There we go. All right. So who would be a good faction to be able to fight against Imperium? Um, let's see. Is Santos Escobar a face right now? I feel like he's a face. Even in NXT, he was portrayed as a bad guy, but people cheered for him so much. So I'm gonna say Santos Escobar, and we can do that whole faction as a face coming up to Raw because I think they're trying to build them up as faces as well right now. So we need Joaquin Wild and Del Toro. I actually, what's L? Yeah, here he is. And Joaquin is J. There you are. Okay. So we got another three-person feud right here. We got Walter, and we got Santos Escobar. So this is looking like a solid. Like we got our tag team rosters going on. We have our main feud rosters. Let's get some of the people that I feel like we could do like mid-card rivalries next, and we'll go to SmackDown. So for the IC title, let's see. I think Austin Theory. I'm flipping like I like the US title on Raw, and I like Walter on Wall. So or Gunther, sorry. So let's do. Oh, how many? We got a tag team feud here. We can do. Who would be good for the IC title early on? Like we can also stick with some of the bruisers. Let's get Karrion Kross. I'm not a big fan of him personally, but I know a lot of people like him. And like I'm looking for like the more muscle men. I think I want on SmackDown more than anything. I think them kind of being able to compete and all being in a similar weight class kind of makes it a little interesting. So we can kind of see who's really better. Madcap might be not be a bad option for IC title. And who's really impressed me IC wise? I mean, we can go Edge. I think he deserves a little bit more prestige. So putting him in on Raw. Plus, there's the whole stuff with the Judgment Day, so that we can cause some interferences that way. Um, Omos. I don't see Omos as the IC champion. I would see Omos more as the US champion. So let's go Omos in here, which if we're gonna bring back, we can bring back the Hurt Business if we really wanted to with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and that is another tag team feud, and we get MVP on the same show, so we can do something like that. So we got more tag teams here. We got Omos coming in with MVP. Let's see. So we have. The way I'm looking at this is I'm like, who is? How can I flip around these guys? How many shows we can kind of put on these matches? What kind of build we can do? And this is looking pretty good. Now, when I'm drafting, you can draft as many people as you want. If you're playing with another person, I recommend, hey, you guys each draft like 20 superstars male, 20 superstars female, and kind of do that. But I think for your own thing, just build it, put as much as people into the show you want. I'm just trying to look at it as, hey, I want big meaty people on SmackDown for the most part, and I want more wrestling focused on Raw to kind of see like the skill kind of gap. Because Raw would be a longer show, I want more skilled wrestling to see during that show. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And if we're throwing in Omos, honestly, I would love to see Omos versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, Cruiser and Giant Classic, I think that's good. And I mean, he's got Judgment Day on there, and he's gonna have his son to face off against too. That's really good. And let's jump back to SmackDown for IC Gold. Rick Boogs would be pretty cool, which means I'm gonna throw him with Elias. I love the rocker kind of hair like style. So Rick Boogs and Elias. I'm not gonna throw Ezekiel. I love the Ezekiel gimmick with Kevin Owens. I think that was hilarious, and it was so short-lived. I'm sad they took it away, but yeah. So we got the rock stars. How about Hollywood? Let's get La Knight. Yeah. And honestly, why is LA Knight not teaming with the Miz? I need some kind of interaction with the Miz and LA Knight, like in my real wrestling. So I'm gonna book this. My fantasy booking is LA Knight and the Miz together. That's me. I love the Miz. He's one of my favorite performers. Okay, he's my favorite wrestling superstar because I just freaking love him on the mic. So we got that. We can probably get. He would be another good IC title. I love Ziggler. He is underused. He should be going for the IC title, I think. I really, I know he's happy because he's just putting over other people, and that's kind of what he wants to do. But I want more for him. Chad Gable, like that's another good. Ooh, no, actually, you know what? I want him going for singles gold. So I am actually going to split up Alpha Academy. I'm going to have Otis going to SmackDown, and then which means I'm going to be bringing the maximum male models there. And I think the Street Profits never got their feud with them, which I think could be cool. So we got a pretty good lineup here. Let's go back to Raw. And again, people who I think U.S. title. We can talk Johnny Gargano. We can talk Austin Theory. I think would be great. Um, I could promote Braun Breaker into bringing him into it. AJ Styles, why have I not thought of him yet? He's great for the U.S. title, I think for sure. We could put Randy and Riddle, I think, would be good as far as either teammates or we can have them feud. Because I think that when Randy Orton comes back, he is going to attack Riddle. It's just the Viper kind of thing. I think that would just be a great opening blood feud with those two guys. If Riddle hopefully gets the help that he needs, and I really hope he does, because he's great. Um, I think that's who I would really want to go. Like, this is probably who all I would want to play with these brands. You can draft as many you want. Maybe Braun and Ricochet as well on the main roster. Braun and Ricochet, I think, would be solid as a tag team, and they can kind of, if I need to, I can split them up as tag team feuds. Plus, it's also another Giant and Cruiser, so if like Ray versus Braun would be really cool, in my opinion. Where did Ricochet? There he is. Oh wait, who did I click on before? That's Must say. Oh, I didn't get Maswa. There he is. And let me just get, let's see. I want one more person on Raw, I think, and four more people on SmackDown. So let's get Logan Paul on SmackDown because if he's with The Miz and stuff, I think they could do some fun stuff fantasy booked wise. And again, him, LA Knight, The Miz together, in my opinion, would be great. Um, Champa, we'd probably want with Gargano. I think Tommaso Ciampa should be split away from The Miz. I just don't think they work together as a team. And who would be? I need three more men that I could probably book onto that show. Uh, Carmelo Hayes is phenomenal in NXT. I really hope he gets the title over Breaker, and Breaker's probably gonna get moved up soon. but not in my book here. You know what? I will say, do I want Dexter? I don't. I haven't connected with Dexter. Oh, we haven't put Edge on anything yet. Okay, hold on. We gotta flip. Champa, you're going back out of there. You're going, and we're putting Edge in Raw and Champa for sure. Let's say this is getting hard. As far as a lot of these people, I feel like I want on NXT. I mean, a lot of them are the NXT guys, but I feel like they just have a better spot for it. Shinsuke Nakamura, I I respect the man. I am not a big fan of. I can't stand his English is not his first language, and it comes off so bad. I can't understand it that well. I love the man in the ring. He is great performer. I love the body movements, everything about him, but I can't understand him, and it drives me crazy. So he's going to NXT for me. So um, obviously he speaks better English than I speak Japanese, so I can't complain. So T-Bar, can we get him onto the main roster? I think him throwing down with Max Models would be cool. Um, and who would be a great? I want Happy as I'm actually gonna make Happy Corbin in NXT because I can make him Sad Corbin there, and just like he fell all the way from the main roster down to NXT. I think that'd be cool. I think Braun Breaker. We'll call him up. Okay, so that is my main roster there. So in that case, now I'm gonna look at these guys and let's go into NXT. So when I look at NXT, there's the tag titles, there is the North American title, and there's the main championship. So people I want contesting for that main championship down in NXT, I'm gonna say Shinsuke Nakamura is my number one. He's probably gonna be my champion down there. I would say Happy Corbin would be great, but I am going to make it. I would personally be throwing him a losing streak just because I think story wise it's great. Dragonoff is great. JD McDonough is great. I love Grayson Waller. He's just a new version of the Miz, but that's me. And Cameron Grimes, Carmelo Hayes actually would probably be great there. Who would be solid? Jinder, I think, is fine to kind of compete, and we can bring up the other guys, Veer and who was he with? Shanky? Yeah. So I think that works out really well. Apollo and Commander Aziz, those guys are feuding right now, I believe. Drew Gulak, it's funny. Ivar and Eric, I just don't think they're main roster material. The Valhalla stuff does not stick. Uh, I think they're okay in the ring, but they need to be in the fundamentals, I think, or the developmental at the moment. Wes Lee, how do I forget Wes Lee should probably be on the main card. He would be my upper main card in fighting for the IC title. So he's great. Diamond Mine, they're going in there. I'm just not a big fan of Dexter Loomis, unfortunately. I like how he moves around on his fists, but yeah, that's other than that, he just doesn't work well. And I don't think Gargano's doing him any. I love Johnny Gargano, but I don't think he's doing him any favors right now. Mustafa Ali, I'm over him. Like he's starting to get go away heat for me personally. Like they're not even fun bad gimmicks. I just don't even perform like don't even want him on my thing. But we'll put him in NXT. And let's see, MV our truth. Our truth is phenomenal, but he needs to be in NXT and kind of helping out some new guys. I think more than anything. We got the Lethal Leathers, Angelo and Humberto. We can put them down there. Robert Roode can go down and be glorious. Tyler Bate is solid, and I don't. Who is this guy? I have no idea who Noam Dar is, and Reggie. Who the heck are these guys? I do not know the. I don't. I legit do not remember who those people are. Akira Tozawa. I think he can get better, and Axiom is dope. True Gulak will just throw down. Okay, so we got our men. I have no idea who some of these other people are. Paul Heyman. I've never heard of him. Like, why? Who are you? We'll put you on SmackDown, I guess. And okay, so now that we've picked our main roster, let's go to the females. Now, how I like to do this. I got my main roster. We got our main eventers. We have on both Raw and SmackDown, and then I have all the women tag champions on one show. Or so like Raw is going to be because it's my 3 hour show. It is my Raw tag team women's like tag team champions on Raw. I want the women's tag team championship on Raw. I have no idea why WWE hasn't come out with an IC title for women yet. So that's kind of how I look at it. I think right now, especially with like Emma and Tegan Knox and like all these people who are just overshadowed who are brought in for nothing, Mia Yim would make a great IC champion in my opinion. I want to get them. I want to get them some love. So I'm gonna do a main roster. For my main girls to feud on Raw. So we have Judgment Day on here, so we need Rhea Ripley, and she is easily my Raw Women's Champion is Rhea Ripley. Where you at? There you are. And so who could be feuding against her? Let's say Rhea. I would love to see Bianca versus Rhea. I really wish that was the match in WrestleMania, but it's not. So Rhea and Bianca. I love Bianca, but I don't really like Bianca. I don't love Bianca as a champion. I like Bianca reaching for the gold, and I think that'd be good. So we're gonna put Bianca and Rhea on Raw. Just two big bruisers who can really fight each other. I think that'd be great. Who would be a good main event scene? Becky and Bailey. So we need to have Bailey because we have damage control. And maybe that's how we should start looking at some of these other. So damage control, where are you at? Leo. Okay, well there's Toxic Attraction. I'm gonna pretend Toxic Attraction never broke up. I have Mandy Rose already downloaded. Toxic Attraction is gonna be forever. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we got our tag team. We got Kaden and Carter. We have who other in here would actually be tags? Shayna and Ronda. Let's see. Who else can I throw? I have Sonya Deville, who could be teaming with Mandy Rose. Um, who is main roster material? Zelina is with El blah blah blah. So we'll throw them in there. Who else? I think Cora Jade could team with Shotzi. I think that would actually be really cool. And how many singular events though? I have Bailey, Becky, Bianca, and Ripley. Let's get one more. Oh, we got Toxic Attraction in there. And let's throw. Do I want? Who would be a good main eventer? I'm gonna say not Liv. I like Liv. I love Liv Morgan. But I don't want her. I don't think she fits well in this bracket. So I'm gonna say Carmella. I think Carmella would actually be a solid up like main event women's title. So that means let's look at our female. So Asuka is and Charlotte Flair as my first big feud. I think that would be a great match for the women's title. Asuka would be my choice. Alexa Bliss. I just love Alexa. That's great. Who else would be in the main event scene? I think that that's now we can throw Liv in for sure. I think Raquel would be great as well. So those would be like my five big main superstars. And then for the IC title, I gotta give my support to like Natalia. She would be my go-to, and like I want Natalia as my Intercontinental Champion for the women. And who can I give her like five people to kind of feud with? Roxanne Perez, great performer for being so young. Maybe Sonya. I think maybe I put Sonya down in NXT if I don't tag him up. Nikita Lyons. I like Nikita Lyons a lot, but she's always hurt. So I'm gonna skip her. Dana Brooke. She has worked so hard. Like I know the WWE community likes to bully Dana Brooke, but I've seen her at live shows, and she tries, dude. Like she's not a bad in-ring performer, and she does try and work up the crowd. And I'm gonna give Dana Brooke the IC title chance that she deserves. Um, let's see, Lacey Evans. I don't know what version of her will be there, but we'll do that. Let's do Nikki Cross. I personally love the superhero gimmick, but I like silly wrestling, so Nikki Ash is my personal favorite. And who would be good another fifth? We put Karrion Cross, didn't we, on here? Where is he at? Karrion. Yeah, we put Karrion, so we gotta put Scarlett as the manager. And of these superstars, who do I feel like should be promoted? I think Piper or Elba Fire. Oh, you know what? No, fuck them. Zoe Stark. You're my main. There you go. So now we got IC title for women. We got main title for women on this show. We could probably do a little bit more, but I want to throw the rest of the women here, and we're not going to have them fight for a tag team belt down here. We are going to throw the rest down as the NXT women, and they're going to be fighting for their spot. So this is how I personally draft. That's my kind of thought process. I'm looking through and deciding, hey, like this, who do I think would be good matches? And you can use this kind of nice little guide as like just think about, hey, this is the feud I want. This is who I'd want to be fighting for these matches. The way I do universe mode is I actually do have a little chart of like, hey, these are people that I kind of want as like in these sections and what kind of title they're going to be facing for. And I'm working on making a Google spreadsheet so I can track like wins and losses and stuff like that. But I just you want to basically come up and have like, hey, I want these are the 5 people I want in my champion pool. These are the 5 people I want in my mid card. This one I want for tag and so on. So you can make some kind of chart like this that will actually do it. This chart was my first draft of just thought process, but it something like this can help you draft and figure out what you want on universe mode. All right, and then so now once I've picked out my draft, you just go to edit shows. You can click on here, and we're gonna go into edit divisions, so we can start adding our people. I'm sorry, not there. Where we go? Participants. So we go to our participants and start going down our list. Unfortunately, you do have to manually do this, where you have to click and find like, okay, who did I write down on my roster? Okay, yeah, these people are on my raw roster, and select them individually. So it's a little annoying, but that's how I personally have done it. Like it's not the most convenient, and I really wish that they just put in things from like my GM mode for drafting for universe mode, but this is how I've done it, and so far it's been working fine, and I'm pretty happy with how so far my universe has been going. And so hopefully that this is giving you guys some good advice of how you can do it. From there, edit divisions. Seth is my current world champion right now. Omos is taking over the U.S. championship that was ran by simulation. AJ, I'm disappointed in you. The Judgment Day have taken down the New Day for my World Championship for Raw. Rhea Ripley currently undefeated, and oh, I don't have a women's tag team champion yet. Well, I'll have to figure that. I'll need to do that, which I think is going to be still. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have to put them in there. But from there, you can edit the divisions, put people who are where you want them to be, and that is how I run universe mode. Bailey is not currently in the slots, but you can just basically fit people where you want them to, and just start having fun. I mean, like I personally have fun tracking the stats and seeing, hey, who's winning what. Um, and I'm trying to track it so that way I'm like, hey, who's been performing in these bigger matches? Because I put on like a lot of fatal four ways and triple threat matches and a bunch of other stuff to like try and see, okay, who's pulling ahead in these like in the groups to see how they're performing and who my next feud is going to be. So that's how I play universe mode, guys. Hopefully you learned something, or hopefully just gave you some ideas so that way you can play your universe mode properly, or properly. There's no really wrong way to play universe mode, isn't there? No, there's no wrong way. So please like, subscribe, share the video if this helped you at all. I appreciate all the feedback and love that you guys have been giving me over this. So I'm loving WWE 2K23, and I'll catch you guys next time.